Well, hello, welcome to ILoveGay today. And we are here today with Jess Drucker from New York. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Matt?
Very good. I have enjoyed how our lives have woven in and out amongst each other for so many years. But through LinkedIn and social media, we've been able to stay on top of each other's lives.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's amazing. But I mean, I guess the LGBTQ travel world is not as big, so it's been easier that way.
Very true. It's like a cozy little family there.
Yeah.
But no, you've over the years, and we'll talk about some of the things that that you've done over the years. But what you're focused on right now is fascinating because, especially in today's world with remote work and so forth, you've got a lot going on when it comes to focusing on LGBTQ international relocation. And
Yeah.
yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so what feels like a long time ago now, about 5 years ago, I started writing a book. It just fell out of me. It was something I had to do, called How to Move Abroad and Why It's the Best Thing You'll Do. I think I started thinking a lot about like what were my 10,000 hours, and I spent about, my 10,000 hours that I put toward becoming an expert in something. And I lived abroad for 15 years of my life, from the ages of basically like 19 to 34. I came back to graduate college in between there, but and that was really sort of my expertise that I took for granted. I did it for so long, I didn't even know that that was my expertise. But I started writing the book, and I started then, obviously you grow an audience from doing something like that. And I started helping people sort of plan their moves abroad. And it was satisfying and exciting. It's my favorite time in someone's life where they sort of like think to themselves or like look at their partner like, could we do this? Is this something that we could do? And like that's like the most exciting moment for me to come into someone's life. And then as I got more specialized and started thinking about like, what do I really want to do? And like, what's the mission here really? At first the mission was like getting Americans to live abroad because like I think if we all had some more international experience, we would be much more educated at home. And then I just realized I just want to help queer people. I want to help queer people move abroad. It's a different set of circumstances and an added layer that straight folks just don't experience, and there's a knowledge there that I have. So now I fully focus on LGBTQ folks and their families moving, living, and thriving abroad.
Yeah. Wow. But it
Yeah.
really does. It taps into so much of what you know. When you and I first connected, you were at Visit Britain, so you were in the world of tourism, and even a lot over the years between Visit Britain and then I know that you were also in the content world and blogging with Globetrotter Girls, which I'd kind of forgotten until just recently. But
Yeah.
it all kind of helps. You created quite a foundation that has kind of brought you to this point.
Yeah, I think, when I think about what's the connecting fabric through all of that, it's really like being a destination expert, whether that's through like travel and tourism or actually living abroad. It's really like understanding how a destination works and how like a city or a place works and like making yourself at home in it, whether that's for like a trip or obviously forever.
Yeah, yeah. But what I especially love is the fact that not only have we stayed in touch with social media, but you're podcasting now, and you have this show, Adventure Calls. But you bring all the everything that we've talked about together into that show, and I find it, and I think it's fantastic content for one that you're able to really kind of put out there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it started during the pandemic. Actually, I just got terrified that I would not see the world as I had been planning to do. I mean, of course, I already lived a lot of places, and with Globetrotter Girls, I traveled to like 40 something countries at that time for those 4 years. And then when the pandemic hit and we were sheltering in place, I thought like, what if I never get to Japan? And I need to talk to people there now, like through Zoom or whatever. And so it's just started that way. And then now, of course, I brought everything into the focus of just like empowering queer folks to move around the world. And that's really what Adventure Calls is all about. I don't want people, especially during this time, to only move abroad sort of out of like fear. That's a changing client that I have, or as like a backup plan just in case things go crazy here. I want people to feel like this is an adventure and that life is an adventure. And that's really important to me. So that's why the title, and that's why that's the name of my media company, Adventure Calls Media.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
whatever you're doing, you're always going to be able to put that media have that as part of what you're doing. It's probably just a passion and love.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
just you just interviewed somebody that was on our show, Charlie Sprinkman, and you had him on your show as well. And isn't he great?
Yeah, no, he's so great. I also had you on my podcast, by the
You
way.
did,
Let's
you
not forget to
did.
mention, which is also fascinating. But yeah, Charlie, what an inspiration. The thing I think is
Yeah,
the most fascinating about Charlie is that he had this idea, and then through $0 in marketing, He is now, he has now had whatever it is, 75,000 downloads in 9 weeks of his app. And it just shows that there is a real hunger for queer folks to like know where the community is, whether it's at home or while you're traveling. And yeah, I mean, what an awesome guy, honestly.
But it really shows how connected and what a small world it is in our travel world, but then
Sure.
also how so much of what we're doing can help complement each other in kind of getting the word out.
Yeah, I think it's like looking at Everywhere is Queer, which is Charlie's company. It's so fascinating. It's like a paradigm shift because it's like I feel like there's going to be queer people around here, but now I know it. I can see it on a map. Here's a queer-owned business. These are queer-owned safe spaces, not just in the US, but like around the world. And what a useful tool for expats as well, you know? So I think, yeah,
Yeah.
it totally all weaves together.
But you keep busy and not to like I said, all this kind of from where I'm looking, it all ties together. But in addition, you're in New York, and you also head up the tourism and hospitality for Downtown Alliance, and I'm sure this fits into everything as well.
It does fit into things, yeah, but this is definitely downtown line is a focus on like one neighborhood, right? So it's like but what's interesting, honestly, is like that it is like feels like the center of the universe a lot of the time. I mean, it's a place where there's like the Trump trials are happening, and
Yeah.
like the whole world kind of feels like it happens right there. So that's really exciting, actually. And then of course receiving like international tourists from everywhere. We also worked on in 2019 the big World Pride campaign when World
Oh,
Pride came to New York City. We worked with Virgin Media and hosted all the international queer media downtown with NYC Tourism. So yeah, I managed somehow to sort of weave it all together into what I do.
are you doing anything for this Pride? It's coming up next. Pride Month is next week.
I mean, I've got a lot of work going on through Rainbow Relocation through it and everything. But no, downtown, no, we're not involved this time around. But of
Yeah.
course, I'm doing a bunch of things as well.
Well, I will be in the city a lot in the next few weeks for Pride, but then also just for I have a Broadway husband, so he's got a lot he wants to see before the Tonys.
Wow. Oh, how exciting. Yeah, I'm going to see Appropriate this weekend with Sarah
Oh,
Paul.
wow.
Got to support the gays.
So when I'm there, we'll have to make a point to let you know. It'd be great to connect
Yeah,
in the real world again. And
of course.
but mostly, I just like I said, I love what you do, and I love how you kind of tell your story and get it out there in such a unique way. And I'll make sure when we post this that we're going to have links to everything that you've been working on, so that people can easily find what you're up to.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just don't want people, I want my big motivator is just I don't want people to ever feel stuck. Like if they ever feel like they could have taken advantage, that they could have like lived abroad or spent time abroad or remote work now, it's like you can do all of these things. Life is totally available to you to go do them. And like once you really understand that like 9 million Americans are living abroad right now, so many more are traveling with remote work. It is totally there for you. And I just really want to help folks understand how to do that so they never feel like they might regret something later in life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah.
love that. Well,
Yeah.
thanks so much for being here and sharing a bit of your story with our audience. And like I said, look forward to connecting in the real world soon.
Yeah, same. Thanks so much for having me. Such an honor. I watch every show.
You're too kind. Thanks again.
Thank you.
So good, coming back again.